welcome back to the show. We are going to be helping out a friend of mine who's a subscriber pour his footings, and then we're going to come back to Westberrie Acres and finish out this porch. Alright, it is Friday again already. For those of you who are new to our channel, my name is Paul, and I'm doing something a little different this morning. Going to help I'm a guy that is putting in footings today. His name's Travis. I met Travis, I don't know, a few years ago, and when I was self-building my post frame home, he came out and helped me a few days. And the thing about Travis is he came out and helped me, but he expected nothing in return, which is kind of a rare quality of people today. And so kind of the motto of my business is to help people build their dream. And so this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, is to start, you know, just showing up at people's job sites and trying to help them. So hopefully, as my business gets where I need it to be financially, I can do that more. But Travis doesn't live too far away. It's like 45 minutes, 50 minutes. And he's pouring footings for his building today. And so I'm taking my guys and we're going to go help him. He knows I'm going to stop by and help him, but he doesn't know that my other guys are coming. So the purpose for this is just to, I know how stressful it is when you know, you're pouring footings and, you know, it's just him and his dad. So I want to go there just so there's plenty of help, and then it'll take a little bit of the stress away so he can get off, you know, get this building started on the right foot. So we need more people like Travis in this world, and I'm super pumped to go help him. Should only take a couple hours, and then we'll go back to the 80 by 56 house and shop combo we're building right now. It's going to be hot today, which is another reason I'm glad we're going to help, because that concrete sets up a lot faster when it's hot and sunny. But this should be a good time. Alright guys, we got all these footings poured. And just when you guys are doing this, this is probably one of the most stressful parts of your build, because you want to get this right. You want to get your brackets in where they need to be. So just, you can do this with a couple people if you've done it a couple times, but I would highly recommend having, you know, 3-4 people, just so you can have a couple pouring, smoothing out the piers, and then you can have someone putting string lines up, marking out your holes, just so it doesn't get away from you when it's really hot. Like today, it's going to be 90, 95 degrees. The sun's out already. It's dry. This concrete will set up pretty fast. So keep that in mind when you're doing this, and make sure you have enough people. All right, day 20 here, Westberrie Acres. It's hot, dry, but we had a good morning. We went and helped a subscriber pour his footings this morning. Just kind of surprised him. So that felt good to do that. But we're back here at this porch, and I adjusted the roof of this porch down just a little bit to give myself the amount of distance that I like between the window and the roof. And since I did that, it's not necessarily like it's in between like a 512 and a 412. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a string line. I tacked on a board to act as my fascia board. I marked where I want the height of the roof, and so I'm just going to take a string line up there, and then I can kind of figure out with my purlin standing on edge where my rafter is going to stop at the top and the bottom, which will make more sense when I show you. And then I can get degree, length, all that kind of good stuff to make these rafters. All right, guys. So since I don't know the pitch of this, since I moved this down, I made a mark where I want my roof line to be up here, and then I tacked on a fascia board, and then I attached a string line between the 2 points. So this is the finished height of my roof right here. So now with this, I can take a little scrap piece of 2x4 like it's a purlin. I can stick it up here. I gotta allow for my plywood, and then I can mark the bottom so I know where my rafter has to start. I'm gonna have 1/2 inch plywood on the top of here. So I know this is where my rafter needs, the top of my rafter needs to be. And this helps me because now I have one measurement. I have this measurement from here to here, and I have that measurement from here to down there, which I'm gonna take this down here and do the same thing. Then I know my distance of the top of my rafter, and I can get all my angles. So what I have to do is I have to slide this in there till it's just touching, and then I got to give myself a 1/2 inch gap for plywood, which I could just tack a piece of plywood on there. Probably be easier. So right there is where my bottom purlin's going to be. Now I just need to mark the back edge. And I know that's where my rafter stops. So now I have 2 measurements that I need to make my rafter. I have this one, which is 96 1/4. So we'll draw this out here. So we got there, got the up. This is 96 1/4. Like roughly 67. But we'll see what the nav calculator says. So all I did is I stuck my square up there. It looks like it's going to be about 67 degrees is that angle right there. B is 96.25. 102.59. Angle A, I was off a couple degrees.
67.
Looked like 67, but it says 69.75. 20. Alright, so I got all my measurements, all my angles, but before I cut a 2x12, which is really expensive, I'm going to take a 2x4, put the same angles on it, and do a test fit. And then this 2x4 I can use for purlins. There's going to be some short purlins on there. It's a lot better to ruin a 2x4 than a 2x12. 8 foot, 6 inches. What do you think, Justin? Think it's gonna work?
Yeah, I think it will.
There's money in the bank. You know why this math didn't lie? Because it wasn't off the blueprints. And I told you it was going to be somewhere between a 412 and 512, and if you look at on my square, 20 degrees lands roughly halfway between 4 and 512. But if you are building a porch from scratch, or you want to change the height based on windows, stuff like that, that's how I do it. Is I'll use a string line from the fascia board up to where I want the porch to end. Then I can just set my 2x4 purlin on edge if that's what you're going to use. If you're going to do them flat, lay it flat, make my mark so I know my 2 measurements. Once you have your 2 measurements, you can figure everything else out. All right, so let's check this porch out. So we got the A-frame done. We went ahead and sheathed that. And then the porch roof's gonna come off here. But this, the client wants hipped. So at these corners, instead of the angle coming all the way out, there's gonna be a hip coming off to this point. So the easiest way to make sure your rafters are easy to make, get this measurement from there to there, and then take that measurement and measure from here to your first sub rafter. Then this sub rafter and rafter coming down the wall will be exactly the same, and then you don't have to do a whole nother set of math. And what it allows for your ribs to line up at this point that's going to go up there, which we'll show you once we get that all done. Porch will actually end up. So you need to use the, I guess the plumber in this case is what it would be called.
You want it up to this line?
Is it just below it?
Yeah.
Does it need to go that way a little?
There?
Right there?
You're above it. Yep.
Yep. Alright, now just for now, make sure that stays like this, and then just put a toe screw both ways, and then we'll come back at the end and we'll build a board. We'll take a board that fits a 2x4 from here up into that space to support it.
Okay.
Got it where you need it, all the way to the top?
Yep. They come down. Right there.
Right there?
Yep.
So there's your line. Right there. Alright?
Okay.
Got it?
I don't know what to do.
Helped a friend out, subscriber, pour their footings. Came here, got all of our sub rafters, all of our fascia boards on our porch, so we're ready for purlins and sheathing. Should be able to knock that out on Monday. Alright, so we are putting purlins on this porch, and the purlins die into the A-frame, then they die into this hip rafter. So we have double angles on both ends, which is a real pain. It's not something I do a lot, so I got to think about it. So I just kind of imagine my board sitting here, and I know this is a 45 degrees, and I know this is going to be 20 degrees.
Cash, let's remeasure the last two. I just want to see if there's any.
That's the pitch of my roof, and then 45 is the angle of my rafter. Make sense?
Let's see how far.
All right, guys, we really appreciate you watching. Don't forget to check back every day for new content. We upload shorts constantly. We're doing 2-3 videos a week. We have design services for those of you who want to design your own post frame home. We can help you with that. We have a Patreon group where we help self-builders learn about different topics to help you be successful building your dream. And as always, we appreciate you watching. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next video.